The news hit Brussels like an economic earthquake, sending shockwaves through the corridors of power and boardrooms alike. In an emergency session, EU leaders unveiled the Strategic Materials Independence Act, a sweeping multi-billion-euro plan designed to break Europe's deep reliance on China for rare earths and other critical materials essential to modern industry. The stakes could not be higher. Europe's economic security, its technological edge, and the entire green transition are suddenly at risk. Without these materials, the continent's ambitions for clean energy and digital innovation could grind to a halt. China, the world's undisputed rare earths giant, has signaled tighter export controls, reminding the world of its immense leverage over global supply chains and the vulnerability of those who depend on them. For European industries, automotive, wind, tech, a sudden supply shock could halt production lines, idle factories, and threaten millions of jobs across the continent, from engineers to assembly workers. The EU's response marks a historic turning point. No longer will low costs be prioritized over long-term security and resilience. This is Europe's Sputnik moment, a wake-up call to rethink industrial policy from the ground up, just as past crises have spurred innovation and unity. The new act will fund domestic mining projects, cutting-edge recycling technologies, and research into alternative materials, aiming to build a robust, self-sufficient supply chain for the future. It also fast-tracks strategic partnerships with resource-rich countries like Canada, Australia, and key African and South American nations, forging new alliances to secure vital resources. The message to European businesses is clear: diversify your sources, invest in innovation, and the EU will stand behind you with unprecedented support and funding. The message to China is equally clear. Europe will not be held hostage by supply chain vulnerabilities or geopolitical pressure. This is the beginning of a global economic power shift, as nations race to secure their own futures in an increasingly uncertain world. Across the continent, citizens and industries are preparing for a new reality, one where resilience, adaptability, and strategic foresight matter more than ever before. The Strategic Materials Independence Act stands as Europe's boldest move yet, a declaration of intent to shape its own destiny. The world is watching closely as the first decisive moves are made, with headlines and analysts speculating on the global impact. The future of Europe's economy, its industries, and its place in the world is being decided right now, in real time, as history unfolds. Rare earth elements, 17 unique metals with names like neodymium and terbium, are the hidden engines of modern technology. Though you may not see them, they're present in almost every device and innovation that powers our daily lives, from smartphones to satellites. Despite their name, these elements aren't actually rare in the Earth's crust, but they're scattered and difficult to find in concentrations worth mining. Extracting and refining them is a complex, energy-intensive process that requires advanced technology and expertise, making them expensive and environmentally challenging to produce. These elements are essential for manufacturing high-performance magnets, batteries, and advanced electronics, key components in electric vehicles, wind turbines, smartphones, and robotics. Without rare earths, the transition to clean energy and the digital economy would stall. Europe's ambitious Green Deal and climate goals depend heavily on a steady supply of rare earths. They are the backbone of renewable energy infrastructure and the technologies needed to reduce carbon emissions. The defense and aerospace sectors also rely on rare earths for critical systems. Guidance controls, radar, and jet engines all depend on these metals for performance and reliability, making them vital for national security. If Europe were to lose access to these materials, it would cripple not only its green ambitions, but also its technological edge and security capabilities, leaving industries and infrastructure vulnerable. The challenge is stark. Europe currently produces almost none of its own rare earths. Decades of outsourcing have left the continent dependent on external sources. Over 90% of Europe's rare earths are imported, with the vast majority coming from China. This creates a single point of failure in the supply chain, making Europe vulnerable to disruptions and geopolitical tensions. What was once seen as a cost-saving strategy has now become a strategic liability. The risks of shortages, price spikes, or export bans are growing, threatening Europe's economic stability. Europe's entire modern economy is balanced on a supply chain it doesn't control. From finance to manufacturing, every sector is exposed to this critical vulnerability. The urgency is clear. Europe must secure these materials, invest in domestic production, and diversify its sources, or risk falling behind in the global race for innovation and sustainability. The rare earths crisis is about more than just metals. It's about Europe's future, its independence, and its ability to lead in a rapidly changing world. The clock is ticking, and the decisions made now will shape the continent for decades to come. China's rare earth dominance is no accident. It's the result of decades of investment and strategic planning. By subsidizing production and tolerating lower environmental standards, China outcompeted global rivals and now controls the market. This monopoly gives Beijing powerful leverage. In 2010, China halted rare earth exports to Japan during a dispute, sending shockwaves through global tech. Now, new export controls threaten Europe's industries with uncertainty and delays. As the West restricts tech exports to China, Beijing is flexing its own supply chain muscle. Europe is caught in a high-stakes tug-of-war. The risk is no longer theoretical, it's immediate. The rare earths battle is reshaping global power. Europe is fighting back with a bold new strategy of diversification, determined to reduce its reliance on a handful of suppliers for critical resources. The continent is reimagining its future, taking decisive steps to secure its economic independence and resilience. The EU is forging strong alliances with resource-rich democracies like Canada and Australia, offering technical and financial support to help develop new mines and advanced processing plants. These partnerships are designed to ensure a steady, ethical supply of vital raw materials. These aren't just ordinary trade deals, they're deep, long-term partnerships built on trust, transparency, and high environmental and labor standards, setting a new global benchmark for responsible sourcing. Europe is also reaching out to Africa and South America, investing in sustainable mining projects and supporting local value chains, aiming to create shared prosperity and foster innovation in these regions. The goal is clear: a coalition of reliable, like-minded suppliers and a robust buffer against future supply shocks, ensuring Europe's industries can thrive no matter what challenges arise. A new critical raw materials board has been established to coordinate these efforts, manage risks, and oversee a growing strategic stockpile, ready to respond to any crisis. The EU is building a centralized strategy hub, echoing the rapid, united response seen during the COVID-19 vaccine rollout, but now focused on securing essential materials for the future. United action gives Europe greater bargaining power and international credibility, showing the world that the EU can act swiftly and decisively when its interests are at stake. The message is unmistakable. Europe is serious about securing its future, protecting its industries, and leading by example on the global stage. The world is taking notice, as Europe's bold moves inspire others to rethink their own strategies for resilience and independence. Europe's boldest move is building a domestic rare earth supply chain. The EU is fast-tracking mining projects like the new discovery in Kiruna, Sweden, and backing them with funding and permits. Recycling is a major focus, turning old electronics and industrial waste into new sources of rare earths. Research is underway to design magnets and materials that use less or no rare earths at all. The aim: reduce demand and boost resilience from the ground up. The EU is creating incentives for companies to build processing and manufacturing plants in Europe. For the first time, Europe wants to control the entire value chain, from mine to finished product. This is about more than resources. It's about industrial independence. The vision: a self-sufficient, innovative Europe. The stakes couldn't be higher. The EU's new strategy is already transforming the way business is done across the continent. Companies are scrambling to secure alternative suppliers, even if it means paying higher costs and facing new logistical challenges. Just-in-time inventory is out, just-in-case is in, as firms build up bigger safety stockpiles. Automakers are redesigning motors to use fewer rare earths and investing directly in overseas mines for greater control. New jobs are emerging in mining, recycling, and R&D, while investors flock to companies with secure, reliable supply chains. Strategic independence is now a major selling point, and a significant job creator for the region. Venture capital is pouring into recycling and rare earth-free tech startups, fueling rapid innovation. Stock prices for non-Chinese mining firms are surging as demand grows. The market is rewarding resilience and transparency like never before. Europe's policy is actively reshaping the business landscape for the future. China faces a choice: use its rare earth leverage aggressively, or risk driving Europe to independence. Either way, Europe's course is set: resilience over dependency. The new strategy is a declaration of economic sovereignty. Europe is willing to pay for control over its future. This marks a historic shift from pure efficiency to strategic resilience. Parallel supply chains may emerge, fragmenting global trade but boosting stability. Developing nations could benefit from new competition and better deals. The rare earths race is rewriting the rules of global commerce. Europe has learned from past mistakes and is determined not to repeat them. The cost of inaction is far greater than the price of change. This is Europe's stand for economic power in the 21st century.